And welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. We are on week 2, Thursday night. Welcome of Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, and I am Shanrae. And so this is a 30-minute segment, and we've been talking about loyalty on this month. Give me 1 minute. I am going to share, and I need to switch my tickers here. And so I'm so glad to see you all. Those of you all that are coming in tonight, can you like and share as you come in on this evening? Please like and share. But it's so good to have you all on tonight with me. And again, this is an open forum, an open platform. So you know, good evening, CJ. How are you? This is an open forum, so you're welcome to comment. You're welcome to give life scenarios. I will take time out. If you have any questions, I will take out time and I will answer the questions on tonight. This month and this first quarter of 2021, I have been talking about loyalty and breaking that down in different subtopics. And this is my give back to you all this is my give back. I'm a degree counselor, and I'm going to get into all of that. Let me go on and share my screen as we go on, because this time will be flying by very, very, very quickly. And so again, welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I am Shanrae. And so here we go. All right. And I am a degree counselor. Like I stated earlier, I'm a degree counselor, and my degrees, I acquired them from Ashford University. And good evening, Helen. How are you? Good evening. So good to see you, Helen. Yes, let me share to my group really quickly. So good to see you on tonight. Um, Again, this is an open forum, but I did acquire my degrees from Ashford University, so I'm a degree counselor, and I'm a Christian counselor. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with my website disclaimer, and then we'll move on from there. I'm working multiple things, so please bear with me. Please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I am using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should also be noted that due to changes in policies, all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. Information provided by myself, other counselors, religious leaders, or people with life experience are subject to the limitations of current and available material, but the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you, the individual. Information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information does change frequently, and it is recommended that clients or individuals as yourself will consult another physician, another specialist, and or religious leader to aid in your overall behavioral wellness. All right. Again, so I'm a Christian counselor, and the scripture for this month that I've chosen, or for this quarter, it comes from Proverbs, and it's the New International Version, the NIV version, and chapter 3, verses 21. It says, "My son, do not let wisdom," and let me slide over this way so you can see more of my face. But my son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and discretion. I'm going to also read from the NLT, which is the New Living Translation version. Good evening, Deborah Smith. How are you? And so the NLT version says, "My child, don't lose sight of common sense and discernment. Hang on to them." And so that is our monthly scripture for this month. We've been talking about loyalty and different subtopics, different breaking down of loyalty. All right. So also, I always give my definition. So let's start with the ones that I have here. Loyalty is a strong feeling of support or allegiance, and also friends, because we're talking about friends tonight. Excuse me. The definition of friend, excuse me, is a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. All right. So we're going to move this along, and I'm going to illuminate this so you all can see exactly what I'm talking about on this evening. Let's illuminate this a little bit.
All right, so tonight's key points, what I'm going to be hitting on and talking, and please, again, feel free. Good evening, Lisa. How are you? Good to see you. Tonight, and let me prop my little cell phone up so I can see you all as y'all are coming in. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to share scenarios. This is an open platform, and I will highlight and I will give attention to what you want to expound on. All right, so tonight's key points that I'm going to be talking about are friendship and loyalty. Number one, why is loyalty important in friendship? Number three is and that got cut off. Excuse me. So let me get my notes because I didn't realize that got cut off. Okay, as I was preparing this. Here we go. Okay, loyalty, friendship and loyalty is something we can all learn from. Number 4 says who deserves your loyalty, and then number 5 we're going to be talking about have a takeaway. So let's break down loyal friends. And what right here, the breakdown that I have of loyal friends is loyalty is one of the most important qualities as a friend can have. And when you know someone is loyal, you know that they're reliable, you know that you can trust them, and that they'll always have your back. It's what sets your true friends apart from the rest of the pack. And everyone has their own idea of what loyalty means to them. And here's a little quote that I wanted to jot down from the psychologist, and he's also a writer, the psychologist who I'm going to be highlighting this evening, and it's Dr. Wilson, Dr. Irvin Wilson. And so it says, make the great virtue of loyalty a part of your own life. So, like, again, I am a Christian counselor. So we know that we want to practice what we preach. That's something, or practice what we teach. So we want to live by what we're teaching other people, and live by what we expect other people to do to us. So that's what this means by make the great virtue of loyalty a part of your own life. All right, I'm trying to see if y'all have any questions. So why is loyalty important in friendship? This is a very, very good question right here. It says it is loyalty that builds and strengthens those relationships. We feel them especially within our family. And if we are lucky enough, we will have 1 or 2 friends that have proved themselves to us as loyal friends. Being a loyal friend to someone is one way of beginning to the building process of friendship. And I'm moving by a little quickly because this is only a 30-minute teaching, a segment, counseling session. And so we got to roll with the punches with our time frame. I don't like to take up a lot of people's time. So I wanted to break down 4 different traits of a loyal friend that we can all learn from. Number one says that a loyal friend is honest. A loyal friend is honest. And a good rule to remember is don't expect loyalty if you can't provide honesty. A loyal friend might not agree with you at all times, and they won't always have the same opinions as yours, but they still want you to know the truth, says the writer here, Stan 10. And you may not feed her pity party with platitudes, but that is exactly what she needs in a loyal friend. You want to be the best for her, and the truth should be a benefit as a friend. So a loyal friend is honest. That's number 1. Number 2, loyal friends are impartial. And let me see if we have any questions. God bless you too, Lisa. Loyal friends are impartial. All right, so that might sound a little bit biased, but it's not an apathetic attribute. Being impartial means that you're accepting, non-discriminatory, and view others' lives objectively based on their life experiences. It's rare that you and your friend will come from the exact same background. Very rare. Okay, family upbringings or culture. So understanding baseline differences and accepting them is key for offering support and learning about the people that are around you, objectively based on their life experience. It is rare that you and your friend will come from the, again, and I read that, and it will help strengthen your friendships too. So new studies have shown that women especially have needs for other women in their lives, which is true. We do. We need that camaraderie with other women. And it says a University of Michigan study found that when women feel emotionally close to other women, their bodies produce more progesterone. That is awesome. And boosting mood and alleviating stress. So a handy survival kit if ever there was one. And I know this to be true. Sometimes us ladies, just like men, we need our time, our ladies night out. We need our girls night out. We need to be able to go somewhere and sit in a safe space and just enjoy the camaraderie of each other. You may start out with the stresses of the week or the day or something, but a lot of times when you get with your friend girls or your sister friends and y'all go and y'all just sit, I don't care if y'all in somebody's house and y'all are just sitting and talking and eating and drinking and stuff like that, it helps. And by the time the end of the night, when you finish at the end of the night, you're feeling so much better. You're feeling a lot lighter. And so this camaraderie here with friends, according to the University of Michigan, their study, it does help. Okay. Number 3, let me move this along. For the 4 traits of a loyal friend. Number 3 says that loyal friends do not do conditional friendship. I'm gonna say that again. Loyal friends do not do conditional friendship. All right, and so this is a little small for me, so I'm gonna read it off the paper right here, and you all can interject as you choose to. I will stop, and we can talk on whatever you want to highlight this evening in the comment box. So it says loyal friends do not do conditional friendship. So conditional, which is the opposite of unconditional, is based on contractual interaction, and which you read that right. A contract states that I do this for you, and if you do this for me. So we know a lot of times when we sign up, hey B, how you doing? It's so good to see you. Let's talk about a contract when we're signing a contract to get our utilities put on in our house. We know that what it's saying is that we will pay them monthly or quarterly or annually. We will pay them if they give us their services. So it's the same thing here. That what a contract states, I do this for you if you do this for me. And this does not apply in loyal friendships. Payback is not necessary, nor is it expected. If you're willing to sacrifice, that should be your decision, one that you have willfully chosen to give unconditionally without any expectations. Now, I'm going to put a pause here. Now, and with this type of friendship and this type of camaraderie, unconditionally, it doesn't mean that you're to be a floor mat or you to be allow yourself to be used. A real loyal friendship is you all do these things back and forth with each other without even thinking about it. But if it's a one-sided thing, you might want to consider that loyal friendship, right there. All right, so number 4 says that loyal friends do have boundaries. I'm gonna say that again. Loyal friends have boundaries. Okay, so loyalty is not equivalent to becoming a wet blanket, like I stated earlier. Abuse and misuse of loyalty for one's gain over another is a clear red flag that your loyalty might be hurtful rather than helpful. A loyal friend might be a friend through any circumstances, but personal responsibility and self-care should always come first in the friendship. Loyalty is seen as a virtue, albeit a problematic one, defines the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. So what makes it problematic? If a friend is so loyal that she'll stop at nothing to tell you how she feels, for example, it's one thing for your best friend to express concerns about your new boyfriend. But if she completely trashes the guy without even getting to know him, She may have have crossed the line, is what it's saying. She may have crossed the line, even if she had the best intentions at heart. And so again, loyalty is seen as a virtue, but loyalty is not equivalent. It's not the same thing as becoming a wet blanket. So number 4 says loyal friends do have boundaries. All right. So who deserves let me see. Let me keep going. I'm sorry before we get on this. So if you feel like boundaries have been crossed, and we're still talking about, let me actually go back. I don't want to confuse anybody. Loyal friends having boundaries. So if you feel like boundaries have been crossed, then you need to explicitly let them know when they have overstepped. Says Irene S. Levine. She's a PhD, doctor, and it is perfectly appropriate to remind that person that you do have responsibilities to others and to yourself. Clarify how much contact and what type of contact feels comfortable for you to have with them if they're starting to overstep their boundaries. If you feel like you didn't quite measure up to these, then don't be discouraged. Like all virtues, loyalty is a practice trait. And you know, the more you live, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you'll do. That's how it's supposed to be. So loyalty is a practice trait. Striving each day to be a loyal friend is worth the effort for both you and those of you who you love. So now we can move this on. And here's a great question right here. Because I know a lot of us have seen a lot throughout our lifetime, have experienced a lot. But who deserves your loyalty? This is a good question here. Who deserves your loyalty? And the question, this is going to be the standard question throughout this right here. What is the motivation behind the loyalty? Okay, and if you can see this quote right up under this in white, it says, and it's quoted by Miss Lauren Conrad. She's a reality television star. And she says that this is her opinion of a loyal friend. She says, I think a good friend to me is all about trust and loyalty. You don't ever want to second guess whether you can tell your friend something. And this is her, and I agree with her. That's my part of my definition of a loyal friend as well. So right now, Dr. Robert Evans Wilson, and that's where a lot of my research for tonight has come from him, Dr. Robert Evans Wilson. He talked about, and I'm gonna read a little bit of his research, and we're gonna keep it moving. He said that he lost one of his best friends to cancer a little time ago. He said he had been friends with this person for 45 years. They attended high school and college together as they got older. Work and family kept them from spending time together more than 2 or 3 times a year. But however, they spoke on the phone every week. He said he was thinking about what made him a best friend to him. And again, I'm talking about Dr. Robert Evans Wilson Jr. Okay. He said, and the word that kept coming to his mind is loyalty. Loyalty is what kept them best friends down through the years. He said Ken and him had differences in their politics. They had differences in their religion. Yet that never had an impact on their friendship. He said Ken had his back. And as the saying goes, and he always knew that if he needed help or was in a pinch, that Ken was the one that he could count on showing up. He said, this is Dr. Wilson again. Dr. Wilson was saying that after his divorce, he checked his best friend Ken checked in frequently to see how he was feeling. He was supportive of his challenging career choices, and regularly sent him business leads. I like that. I like those type of friends, you know, when they're supportive like that. He said he looked online for a definition. This is Dr. Wilson again. He looked online for a definition of the word loyal. And while most of them suggest that it is an allegiance to a government or institution, religion, cause, product, or person, he said it was his humble opinion that loyalty or being loyal can only be to people. And this is what he found out, that loyalty can only be to a person. So to him, he said loyalty is being faithful and devoted to someone. It is giving or showing firm and constant support or allegiance to a person. He also said that he wondered what motivation lies behind loyalty, like this question right here. And he realized that that loyalty is not a one-way street. It must be given in if one expects to receive it. Loyalty is a survival mechanism, and yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. You need loyalty in every aspect of your life, career-wise, family-wise, and someone. That's why we're talking about it this month. Okay, so Dr. Wilson said that he realized that you need loyalty is a survival mechanism, and that dates back to our caveman days. And in the harsh environment of early man, giving and receiving support from the members of their family, their tribe, or their clan meant the difference between life and death. Good evening, Audrey. How are you? All right, so I'm going to move this along. The question again, who deserves your loyalty? And the sub question is, what is the motivation behind it? I want to read this quote right up under it, where it says, and this is from Richard E. Grant, who's an actor. He said that he places an enormous premium on loyalty. And he said if somebody betrays him, he can forgive them rationally, he can, but emotionally, he found it impossible to do so. So that, some people, it's hard to forgive somebody when they betray them. All right. So let me read this. According to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and that's, again, I've named it earlier. Arguably, the test of loyalty is conduct rather than the intensity of feeling, primarily in a certain stickingness. I like that, stickingness, or perseverance. So the loyal person acts for or stays with or remains committed to the object of loyalty, even when it is likely to be disadvantageous or costly to the loyal person to do so. Okay. And so Dr. Wilson was saying that he believes that loyalty depends on honesty. I agree with him. Loyalty does depend on your honesty. If you can't trust me, then you cannot be loyal to me. And loyalty means that to keep your word and to follow through on your commitments. That is loyalty. It means to support people in your interests, and vice versa, and their endeavors, even if you don't share those same interests and endeavors. And if you are passionate about something, then you want to be their cheerleader. And so this is a really, really good definition or breakdown of loyalty. Let me move this on. Again, who deserves your loyalty? The sub question, what is the motivation behind loyalty? So Dr. Robert Evans Wilson Jr., this is who I'm doing my research on, and that's who I'm talking about tonight. He says, as a loyal friend, he offers empathy instead of judgment. That's a good thing right there. That's a good thing. As a loyal friend, he offers empathy instead of judgment, which is something that we all should do. He said, there is, however, a limit to this, though. He said, if you expect me to suspend my judgment and support you in something I think is wrong or dangerous, then it is within my rights to refuse to support you. There's been a lot of I don't even want to go into the dangerous cases, but we know right from wrong. We know what we know is ethically and morally right and what is not. So if someone is going to commit a crime and you're their best friend, you should never support them in that and say, yeah, child, go do it. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. There's a movie, and I can't think of it right now. Oh my God, the name of the movie, it is so funny. Diane Keaton is in it, and Alec Baldwin. They were the parents that were divorced. But she would get together with her friends, and she had been divorced from her husband for 10 or more years. And some kind of way, he was married to the woman that he had an affair with on her. And so some kind of at their son's college graduation, they wound up hooking up. And so when she had her friends night out, her girlfriend's night out, she was telling them that she was sleeping with, this is her words, not mine. She said, I'm sleeping with Agnes Adler's husband or something like that. And so a few of the friends was laughing. They was like, oh my goodness. And it was one friend that was saying, oh my God, why are you doing that? He's married. And she was like, well, I'm starting to feel judged. She said, but listen, he's married. He's your ex-husband. Now he's married to the woman that he cheated on you with. She said, it's not right that you're going to go and mess around with him and get back at her. And so she was the one friend that kept saying, I know that you feel happy right now, but this is not cool. You can find happiness another way. Find someone else who's single. And y'all two have more in common. Don't get them back. Don't do this. And it wasn't her intentions in the movie. It was not. But it happened or whatever. And she said my counselor told me to explore it. Go on and explore it, which means the counselor told her to continue to do it. And that one friend that night kept saying, I don't agree. I don't think you should do this. So this is what this means right here. Okay, it is in our rights to refuse to go along with something, especially if we feel that it is unethical or immoral or wrong. All right, so empathy, I wanted to break this down. Empathy, it means the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. All right, so here we go with this last one. Okay, let me see if I need to keep going. You know what, I'm gonna where we at? There is perhaps. Okay, a friend how respected spending my judgment. Okay. Let me, and I think there is okay, I'm on target. I just got a little lost with my notes, just a little bit. So again, who deserves your loyalty? And this is reflections of Dr. Robert Evan Wilson Jr., the person that I did my research on this for tonight. The sub question is, what is the motivation behind loyalty? So it says that, and I'm going to have to look down and read for a little bit. It says that there is perhaps nothing more hurtful than to find that you've been betrayed by someone to whom you have been loyal to. All right. Dr. Wilson, he wanted to give an example. He said that when he was in elementary school, he shared a secret with a friend that he thought could be trusted. The secret was a nickname that his mother was called as a child, and the mother hated that nickname. And before sharing it with his friend, he asked him to promise that he would never ever tell another person that name. And this so-called friend agreed. Then a few months later, a friend of his came up to him, another friend, and started calling. A friend of that friend came up there and started calling him, Dr. Wilson, the name that his mother hated. And it was the first time that he ever felt the devastating emotion of betrayal. He said he was never friends with that guy ever again. And how many of us have experienced betrayal? I'm looking at the time. I got enough time to sneak this in here. So I know this. I'm gonna let me expand it really quickly, and then I'm gonna pop back out. Okay, I remember being a teenager, and somebody on here may absolutely remember this because we grew up together. I remember being a teenager, and I had a telephone boyfriend because we lived long distance from each other, and we met in church. Y'all know I'm a Christian counselor, and I grew up in church. So I had a telephone boyfriend. That was a big thing for me. I was about 16 years old, and we used to write back then. We used to write letters to each other. That everything is email and texting and stuff now. But back then, we actually picked up a pen and paper, an envelope, and stamps, and we wrote each other. So I had a telephone boyfriend. We were doing this, going back and forth for about 1 year, and there was someone that I thought was my best friend. I grew up with. We went to the same church and everything. And I found out during a big church event one evening. by a letter being passed around the whole congregation, all of us. It was a big youth program, and I was wondering what was going on. I saw people passing something, and when it got down to my row, my sister and I were sitting together, and I saw and I realized, oh, somebody's passing a letter. So when I saw the letter, they gave it to me. I read the letter. It said, "Dear so and so," and it was from my best friend to my boyfriend, the one that my little telephone friend. She had written a letter to my boyfriend, and he had responded back. So it was like 2 pages. So it was the letter that she wrote him, and then the letter that he wrote her back. And I sat there because, thank you God, my mother always taught my sisters and I, don't put on a scene for people in public. Don't do it. People always want to see a scene. Don't you be the one to do it, and you keep your composure. So as I read the letter and realized that it was my boyfriend who someone was writing to, and then he responded back, wrote a letter back, and the letter was very interesting. Very interesting, very detailed. I kindly read it, and I kept passing the letter along. I passed it on to my sister. My sister read the letter. Then she looked up over because my boyfriend was in the same place. It was a big youth convention. My boyfriend at the time was sitting in the same place. And my sister looked over at him like she could have slapped him, or whatever. She gave him this look from across the room, and he was sitting there like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. And we kept passing the letter along that way. But that betrayal, to me, I was 16 years old. And I had never, ever, ever thought that my best friend would do anything like that to me. I found out that my best friend at the time was calling his house every evening, lying to his mother. Because back then, we didn't have cell phones like that back then. Back then, his mother or father would answer the phone. And when they answered the phone in the evening, she would lie and say that it was me. It was me calling. Now, he and I, anyone who grew up in New York back in the days, whenever you pick up the phone, they would charge you about a minute to use the phone. So we had a 1 week call scheduled. Me and that boyfriend at the time, we would talk to each other 1 time a week for a certain amount of time because it was very expensive to talk on the phone in New York back then. But she would call him every night, lie to one of his parents and say that it was me. She would say that it was me calling him. And then they would talk on the phone. And so I found out that they had a relationship when I thought that was my boyfriend. That was one of the biggest betrayals that one of the first ones that I experienced in my life. And trust me, we were no longer friends from there. I couldn't trust her. So moving it along, Dr. Wilson said that as an adult, he also felt betrayed by another friend. But later on, he realized that it was not betrayal, as he had a higher loyalty to another person that superseded his loyalty to him. So unfortunately, one loyalty can trump another loyalty. As he's saying, to avoid such a situation, one must explore deeper and learn if higher loyalties exist before committing your assets that could be lost to you. In other words, you find out if this person really is a loyal friend of yours, and if they are, and if they are not, then you tread lightly with the information that you share with them and the things that you do with them. That's all that Dr. Wilson is saying here. So I'm going to move this along because our time is winding up. Okay. Oh, we got one more thing to talk about. All right. Who deserves your loyalty? Okay, and the sub question, what is the motivation behind loyalty? Okay, this is something serious right here. I'm going to read this quote, and this is a quote that was quoted by someone anonymously. It says, the only people that I owe my loyalty to are those who never made me question their loyalty. I wish I knew who quoted this because they deserve their props. Okay, I'm going to say that again. This is an anonymous quote. The only people that I owe my loyalty to are those who never made me question theirs. I like that. So let's hurry up and get through this because our time is winding up. It says, and then there is something called a stupid loyalty. Now, this is a real theory, a theoretical loyalty, a study on stupid loyalty, which is staying in a relationship with someone who does not respect you, who does not care for you, or do not make you feel safe at all. And Dr. Wilson said that he stayed in a loveless marriage for years, longer than he should have, because of the commitment that he made on his wedding day to love, honor, and cherish until death do them part. He said he foolishly felt that he had to honor that commitment, even though his wife at the time had long quit returning that same loyalty. He said, fortunately, his wife did divorce him, and because at that time he still couldn't violate his commitment and initiate the divorce proceedings against her. He got a way out, guys. He got a way out. She divorced him. Okay, so let's move this on. Summary. Let's move on to our summary. Loyalty still exists today, even though it is not as necessary to survival as it once was. And knowing how and why loyalty work will help us decide rationally who deserves our devotion. Okay, so there is nothing better. And I do mean there is nothing better than having a friend on whom you can always depend on. And Dr. Wilson said that he lost one of his best friends after 45 years of friendship, and he said he's actually poorer because he lost his best friend. And but I enjoyed his particular study on loyalty and friendship. I really did. My final quote for tonight is, true friendship. Okay, and it says one of the worst mistakes that we can make is to quit on a person who fought for you and always made sure that you was good. Never leave loyalty. I must say that again. One of the worst mistakes that you can make is to quit on a person who fought for you and always made sure that you were good. And it says never leave loyalty. I totally agree. As if anyone looks on here, they can see this. These are the websites and different places where I got all of my longitudinal research from, and I have to put this here as from a counselor's standpoint. I want to thank you all. Thank you. Let me magnify this and actually minimize this. I want to thank you all for participating tonight in Counsel of the Day with Shanrae May 2021. We are on our second week, and next week, next Tuesday and Thursday, will be our week 3 of Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. Thank you for everything. I hope that you all have learned something, enjoyed what you learned. Again, if you all have any questions, I can answer them. If you have a scenario that you want to talk about, we can do that. Feel free to put it in the comments. But I'm going to go on and I'm going to play my voiceover really quickly. So as you all, we still have a little time, you can definitely. If there's a past Counsel of the Day with Shanrae series that you missed or you just want to rewatch, you can go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Please subscribe, like, hit the bell, and select any past series to watch. All right. Do we have any questions for this evening? It's okay. If you can think of something a little bit later on, I will go back and check the comment section, and I will. Or if you want to message me privately and you want to ask something that may be a little bit too private, you can do that, and I will get back to you. All right. And this is our next. All right. Here we go. If you are interested in professional one-on-one counseling services, feel free to contact me via Facebook Messenger or at shanrae.price@gmail.com. I am a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in reaching your life's goals and dreams. All right. And I have to do this. But it's always up to the person. All right, here we go.
If you feel that this teaching has helped you in a positive way or blessed your life, please feel free to donate a coffee blessing to my Cash App, $Shanrae Price.
All righty then. So I will see you all on next Tuesday and next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you all then. And we'll be talking about another subtopic on next week. And our time is winding up for this month. Our time is winding up for the month of May. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment out section. I will answer them. Or you can inbox me via my Facebook page, and I can answer them that way. But I'll see you all next Tuesday. Good night. And thank you for being a part of Counsel the Day with Shanrae.